Next up is our great friend, the founder of CMOShare, Ryan Gross. If you guys don't know, the reason he called his company CMOShare is because Addison and I actually used to share him as a CMO. I had this half of him, and Addison had this half of him. I had the better looking half. So without further ado, Ryan Gross. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Mark. Well, I'm excited to be here today. I always enjoy these mastermind events. I want to echo something that Mark said earlier in the presentation about the people who come to this event. When I first came, it was in 2019 in Indianapolis. I still remember that. I saw Mark speak. I meditated. I was like, what the heck is this? I came from the attractions industry, so I worked for the Walt Disney Company, museums and zoos. And at Disney, you do stuff like that. I didn't think about it in a dental space. And it was amazing. It blew my mind. And I got to connect with a lot of people here. Mark mentioned Ben, Bill, Addison. These guys are phenomenally giving. They give their time, their knowledge, and I've appreciated it. They've helped me in my business. Yesterday, I was talking to Nelson back there, and we're talking about working out. And he said something that resonated, and I thought of it today again. He said, what you work out and what you put into your workout and your health now is deposited into your bank, which you can withdraw from later in life. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. And I thought about it again today, just from a knowledge base. What you take away from everyone around you and everyone speaking, deposit and pull out when you need to, withdraw that when you need to. You could be a practice, a single doctor making $800,000, listen to someone who's making $5 million and withdraw that when you need to. It's very, very good knowledge. I appreciate it, Nelson. Thank you for that. So let's get started with some marketing wisdom. So basically, there's three areas of wisdom, three buckets. Internal, external, that's internal, external marketing that goes towards your current patients, new patients, and I'll explain some examples of that. Digital and AI. We're going to get into some AI today because that is changing everything. And then your team, your internal marketing team who's converting the patients that come and see you, who when you answer the phone, schedule online, things like that. First of all, internal, external marketing. This is brand awareness. And brand awareness is incredibly important because what it does is it's both for your current existing patients and for new patients. It gets your name out there. It helps you in so many different ways, from Google, from searches, from people seeing you when they drive by your office, from, if you're on billboards. The more you can get people to see you, to see what you do, see your name, the more likely that they are to search for you or to Google you or to look for you. And so it helps. And this is something that when I worked in, again, the attraction industry, Disney is a great example. You can't go anywhere almost throughout the world without seeing someone wearing a Disney shirt or something to do with Disney. They put their product out there a lot, their name out there a lot. It's very helpful because brand searches, when someone's searching for you as a new patient, if someone's Googling your name, that helps Google's algorithm to get you to show up more on different types of results. It also reinforces your brand to your current patients and lets them know what services and treatments you offer. And this is important because I talk to dentists all the time in practices where they're talking about, hey, we do all of these things. Well, their patients don't know they do them. How many practices here do surgical, but your patients don't even know you do wisdom teeth extractions. They think they have to go to an oral surgeon. So you need to be able to showcase your brand and your products, not just to new patients, but current patients, to make them understand what it is that you offer so that you can sell them on those treatments. So we're going to go through some examples here. When I told you I worked at a zoo, and this is a billboard that we did for a zoo. And why I put this up here, because two things. First of all, this is a lot easier to sell than a dentist. They're penguins, just a waddle away. I remember coming up with that saying one day. And so, but what it is, it's a showcase of brand here. Cute animals, just a cute little saying, where it's located, the website, the logo. Very simple. And I want to make a kind of distinction here. I got into dental marketing because it's dental marketing is experiential marketing. So you're you're showing what the experience is when they come to your dental office. Are you, what kind of family dental are you? Are you cool? Are you, whatever it is, modern? What services you offer? And that's the same thing when I was at the zoo, when I was at Disney, they're showing an experience. And that's the same thing here. And if you ever heard me talk, I bring this up a lot. Dentists are not cool. I mean, you are cool as a person, but nobody says, on a weekend, people will say, I want to go to the zoo. Nobody on a Saturday is like, I want to go to the dentist on Monday. So this is very important to explain. And I always joke that the coolest dentists make their money on Instagram and TikTok, not from their patients. So just remember that. You want to explain to patients why they should come see you, because they need to come see a dentist. Explain to them why they should see you. So let's go with some examples of dental billboards here. Kind of the same concept. Instead of a penguin, we have a doctor. We have a logo. We have a tagline. In this case, we're showcasing the number of reviews that there are, a website, and the doctor's name. If you look at the comparison from a zoo to a dentist, your penguins are the doctors. That's why people want to come see a dentist. That's a very important part of why people want to come see a dentist, is they connect with the doctor. And you know this, if there's doctors here who, and I had this, I don't know where Addison's at, he's over there, but I see Addison as the dentist. But even though I know him, I'm very good friends with him, I don't get to see him when I go into the practice anymore. And it was difficult because I'm like, I've seen Addison for years and years and years. And my connection is with Addison, not as much with the hygienist, not as much with the assistant, but with the doctor. So that's why we like to showcase the doctors on billboards if we can, or on ads. This is Addison's partner, Brandon. Brandon was a former football player for Nebraska. I mean, pretty good looking, I can say that with confidence. And so we like to use him a lot in ads. I mean, no offense, Addison, but if you would have played offensive line for Nebraska and looked like him, you'd be up there more. And so, but what we do is we're connecting the brand of Brandon to what he does and he specializes with here. Very simple. Get your smile back. Implants, dentures. Brandon does that. Very easy. mycapitaldental.com. Just go through and think about your practice, your doctors, what services, and try to just subtly connect the brand to what they do. So we're going to go through, and I included a lot of videos in this part, in the internal, external marketing part. They go a lot on the digital AI side as well, but I'm putting them in here on purpose because people forget that the video content you make is very, very important for your current and existing patients. You just don't use it as much. People forget to use it as much. So I wanted to put it in this category because it can be of great benefit to your current patients to explain what you do and give a better idea of what the treatment they can receive at your practice. So we recently did this with Steve back there, helped us. Steve is phenomenal videography. If you ever need services, I'm going to plug him right now. Incredible. He helps us a lot with the practices we work with. He came out and filmed a bunch of video at Addison, and then he cut them up into YouTube Shorts, which I'm going to show here in a little bit, that we're using now in ads, but also they can be showcased to his current patients. And so a great way for people at Addison's practice to know that they do clear aligners, they do teeth whitening, wisdom teeth extractions. So here's a video that is one of the videos we shot. If I just hit the click button, we'll start. Okay.
Hi, my name is Sarah Christensen. I am a patient of Capital Dental for Dr. Addison Killeen, and I came here because I was looking for a change. I wanted to find an office that was warm and welcoming and just really got to know me as a person and not just a quick procedure in and out, and I've loved it ever since. So besides the typical cleaning, I've had Invisalign, and that's been fantastic. I struggle with a lot of TMJ issues, and so just helping realign everything has been fantastic with that. What I love about this team is the fact that everybody feels like a big family. You're greeted with a warm smile the minute you walk in by the ladies at the front desk, to your hygienist, who is the one that's with you every appointment. So you feel like you become family and friends, and just gives you that added level of comfort when you're here. And you can tell that all of the hygienists and assistants and doctors feel like they are all family, and that makes a big difference. I would definitely recommend Capital Dental to all my friends and family because it's an overall incredible experience. It's not just about coming in for a teeth cleaning. It's about making friendships and bonds and making you feel welcomed, that you're appreciated, and that they really do care about you from the beginning of the visit to the end of the visit. To everybody here at Capital Dental, all the doctors and all the assistants and hygienists and everybody in between, thank you so much for making me always feel welcomed and appreciated, making me feel like a part of your family.
So that's an incredible testimonial for Capital Dental, incredible. But if you look through there, the way that it was edited and showcased, it showed family, it showed why dentistry is different. And Steve, I mean, just incredibly, he took that. I know you don't have a mic, but real quick, I want to ask, how much of that was scripted? None of it. That's amazing. And so it's just getting the right person to give the testimonial, having the right person film it can create an amazing experience, not just, again, for new patients, but for current patients to reinforce why they come see you. And so, one thing on that, Addison bought this, $97,000 coffee maker does it work now finally? Okay, good. Because when I was there, it never got my latte or Americano right. So anyway, so I would just make. All right, so I'm going to show another video here of, I think this one is. Oh, this is really a good one.
Hablemos sobre la extracción de las muelas del juicio, en qué consiste, los riesgos y beneficios que puedes esperar antes, durante y después del procedimiento. Permíteme explicarle todo para que te sientes completamente preparado. Primero, hablemos de por qué podría ser necesario extraer las muelas del juicio. Si están impactadas.
Okay, I'm not going to do the whole video on that one because I don't know what she's saying. But why I put it on here is because they have staff that speak Spanish. And so this video can be used in YouTube. It can also be used, again, for current patients to see that they do speak Spanish. And this is a big advantage. If you're in an area that speaks Spanish and you can have team members that speak Spanish, and this is important. I'll get practice say, hey, I speak Spanish. I'm like, does your front desk speak Spanish? No. Does the person that answers the phone speak Spanish? No. Well, that's really not going to work that well. You need to have at least a few people who can speak a different language, be able to communicate when they do call in, because they will call in to schedule an appointment. So again, a great video showcasing just the fact that they do speak Spanish, and that gets a different population and audience into the practice.
So you're considering Invisalign. Let's talk about the process. First, we'll start with a consultation. During this visit, we'll discuss your goals and examine your teeth to see if Invisalign is right for you. If you're a good candidate, we'll take a digital impression and x-rays to create a customized treatment plan. Next, we'll design a series of clear aligners specifically for you. These aligners are comfortable, removable, and virtually invisible, making them a great option for many patients. You'll wear each set of aligners for about 2 weeks, gradually shifting your teeth into alignment. We'll schedule check-ins every 6 to 8 weeks to monitor your progress and provide new aligners. The best part? Most patients see results in as little as 6 months to a year. If you're looking for a discreet way to achieve a beautiful smile, let's talk about how Invisalign can help you.
So YouTube short, very easy, very quick. I had this idea one day. I was like, you know what? I wonder if we could take these videos that Steve filmed and turn them into YouTube shorts. So I got with my team, Mary, who's one of the owners with me, and we called Steve, and he's like, yeah, I think we can do this. Again, I'm plugging Steve like crazy. The guy's phenomenal. That blew. He only pays me in food too, so that's the best part. If I refer somebody over, he gets me a meal, so I'm happy with that. But again, these YouTube shorts are becoming very, very popular, and we just started a strategy to start putting those out in the market more. We're doing a lot of YouTube with Bill for implants, doing more with Addison now. It's a kind of a game changer in getting in front of audiences, very quick format in some of these. It can also be used in social media as well. And so, the text overlay. So even if you're scrolling through and you're not listening, you can still see what the video is about. I'm going to segue into some more print material now, because this is another important piece. I'm a brand fanatic. I'm very loyal to brands, but I love branding. A big part of what I've done my entire career is to brand. When I worked at that zoo that you saw, we branded everything. I was in charge of creative at that zoo, and everything down to what the front desk. When they would answer the phone, I wasn't in charge of those teams, but I came up with the scripting because that's part of the brand. Down to the menu at the restaurants at that zoo, I would go to Cisco, to a test kitchen, and eat food based upon to see if it fit within the brand of the zoo. That's how level, at the level of branding that I was involved with, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite parts of my career is in the branding stage. So in dentistry, the same thing. Get your brand and get your logo on as much as possible. Stickers to chapstick. I mean, I steal that chapstick from Capital Dental all the time. It's good. It's like some organic stuff. But from, you have brochures on here. We love brochures because it's an easy way. If you take a brochure on whatever it is, these are implants there. You can take the brochure, give it to the patient, write a note on the back of it, put it, they'll take it home. And even if they don't ever read it, it's still sitting there. It says implants, Capital Dental, maybe a little note or something on it. Another thing too is these share the love cards. If you do referrals, this is a great way to get people to give that to a patient. Referrals are such a big part of dental marketing. If you look at, and I don't have the stat up there, but you want a mix between 40 to 60% of your new patients coming from referrals, and then the rest coming from marketing. And so the more you can get referrals, that's the cheapest and has the highest ROI of anything you can do are referrals. So don't forget to ask people and have some creative ways to showcase referrals. I love t-shirts, absolutely love them. And so a lot of t-shirts have been designed that you give out. And we call these like farmer's market or workout shirts. These are shirts you're going to wear down to the farmer's market. So I live in downtown Lincoln. There's a farmer's market there. I actually see Capital Dental shirts often down there because, Addison's probably giving away, I bet you 5,000 at least in a population base of 320,000. That's a good percentage of shirts out into the audience. Working out, they're nice quality shirts. Don't just blast your logo on it. Do something fun if you can. We designed that Smile Lincoln shirt with the background of Lincoln in there, and then the top of a football. Gave those out at a football game one time at a pep rally, or not pep rally, it was ESPN Game Day was there. But anyway, give those things out. People will wear them. Tote bags to the fake Yetis and things like that. Those gifts get out and get things that are used too. People will use those mugs. They'll use those bags and your logos on them. Getting a little bit back into some of these are a couple of things are ads here that went in newspapers or little magazines. Emergency dentistry is really, really big right now. And here's, I'm going to show some stats here in a little bit about that. But put out that you accept emergency patients. If I owned a practice, I'd go after emergency patients all day long because they have an overall higher production value per patient than the average patient. Now, you might get 10 in and 8 of them suck, but the 2 that don't are going to be worth a lot of money, and that production per average is higher. And so look at ways just to tell people, hey, we're here for emergencies, call us. There's a lot of different options you can do. We take these emergency brochures and some of the practices we work with and tell them to take them to ERs or to urgent cares, because ERs and urgent cares do not want to see a dental emergency ever. They hate them for the most part. And so take them there, drop them off with a map that gets you to the practice. That's in the upper left corner one there. It'd be upper left for you. Look at and shows how to get there, and then give like gift baskets. Go to like Costco or Sam's or something and deliver a gift basket with a bunch of these brochures. You'll be surprised, for $100 what you get out of it from that referral. Again, more brochures here on teeth whitening or straightening this is all Invisalign stuff here, actually. A lot of Invisalign. Invisalign is a very expensive thing to market. It's incredibly expensive because you're competing on a very national level. You're also competing against Invisalign on some of these marketing. So you've got to be careful how you spend your money because you can just blow it quickly. The biggest thing you can do is literally just let every new patient who comes into the door know that you do clear aligners and Invisalign or whatever product you're doing, because a lot of times they think they have to go to an orthodontist for that. So just educate the people walking in the door. Again, highest ROI I believe would be coming from educating the people that walk in first than trying to do Google. We almost never do Google ads for Invisalign anymore because it's so expensive on the return and the cost per conversion. You can do like Invisalign days. Those are good. I think that's Ben did one. You get a lot of Bill does them too. You get a lot of current patients that do it. And so a lot of times they'll come and say, hey, I want to get 20 starts. Well, 18 come from current patients and 2 from new patients. That's completely fine because those are 18 that may not have done it, but you just did a campaign to your current patients like that. Ashley Humachek, I don't know where she's at. She does this thing at this wedding fair. Well, where is Ashley at? But, oh yeah, right here. You talk to Ashley about this wedding fair thing that she does. It is incredible. Like probably the best. Real quick, how many starts did you get on average from the couple of years you've done it?
Every time we would do it, somewhere between like 15 and 25.
Yeah,
over the course of the next couple months. But
yeah.
directly after the fair, you could see our numbers just jump even from website traffic.
Yeah, it's crazy. We would monitor her website traffic after it and see how many people go to the Invisalign page. So it's amazing. Not having dental insurance is big. So talk about savings and membership plans that you have. That's a big piece. Now, when I get to the digital side, I'll talk about some of the searches revolving or going around savings plans and financing plans and things like that. But let people know that you have a savings plan. And so one thing that we started when Addison owned, who was part of the owner of 6 location practices, we went in and did training with them on how to sell this to the patients. And what we said was when they would show the treatment plan, if they did not have insurance, or even if they did, we would show the amount it cost, or even from like a cleaning, what it would cost to do the cleaning or with the services without or with. And it was like, I mean, he was signing up 85% of people with no insurance would get on the plan. That simple. But you have to have the team be able to explain this to the patients, but it works really, really well, especially right now. The things that go out to your current patients, oops, you forgot your visit, you missed an appointment. Don't forget, you can mail things to your current patients. That's an audience. It doesn't have to always be new patients. Ben is like the king at trying a bunch of things. And I don't know, we probably made 100 different type of marketing materials for Ben. He uses them like crazy, big on testing things and seeing what really works. I don't think there's probably a dentist out there besides Addison and Ben that brand as well as they do in their communities. It's just phenomenal. So I'd pick Ben's brain on that. It comes out for the one down in the corner there about reminder of your dental visit. You can get $50 off treatment, free laughing gas. Those are ways just to get people back into the door. It's easy, it's cheap, and you're sending out to a list you already have. And these pieces cost 50 cents a piece to send when you do bulk mailing if you get enough of them. Social post, we don't do social posts for practices just because they're too generic, like they don't work. So we monitor. If you know us, we're very data driven. So what we do is we look at the numbers behind everything we do. So we analyzed thousands of social posts for dentistry. It's kind of boring, but we did it to just try to get the engagement off of them. The posts that get the most engagement, that show up on news feeds, again, you're looking on social, you're trying to get through Meta's news feed. That's really big. If you have a picture of like something that says, hey, whatever it is about veneers or something, that's just not going to show up on the news feed. It's not interesting. So Meta's not going to say, let's put this on the feed because it's not good content. So what you want to do is put people on your post as much as possible, because that will gain in Meta's algorithm. It's a person. And then what happens if you get these people, they'll tag each other, they'll like it. And so a lot of people post is very important. That's going to get engagement, and that's just brand awareness. Of course, no one's going to sit there and just say, oh, I need to go to the dentist and I saw this. No, it's just going to get in the back of their head, and they may click over, but at least it gets you in front of a news feed on social, which is very important. Again, more things here, people, construction. If you win an award, put that up there. That's something, because if you win an award in your area for like best dentist or something like that, all of your staff's going to like it, your friends, the people are going to see it, and that is going to get some feed on there as well. Tag, it's kind of complicated how you tag stuff with businesses, but if you can do that as well. We're going to shift over to digital and AI now. So this is probably where I spend almost, 80% of the time when I'm not doing like calls with practices is on AI. I basically throw everything you thought you knew about digital marketing out the window, because AI is changing it all. Searches are very based on the individual. the situation of the person, what they know about you. It's not about, I used to get up here and say, hey, you got to get in front of as many people as possible and get those conversions. Now you got to get in front of the right people who are going to convert, and that's what AI can help you do. Content is king. That's why we do those videos, because that gets content out there. And so the way you got to look at AI is it's not like a search ranking like in the past where you sit there and say, okay, I'm ranked 3rd for dentists near me. That's going away very quickly. If you look at a Google search now, you'll see that there's the AI result, there's ads, and then there's the organic results. But the organic results are driven also by AI. And so you and I can do a search in the same area and get different results for the exact same thing. So I've been doing this test, and I wish I would put screenshots up, I didn't. For the last 5 days, I've been taking and doing the exact same search in Google, asking about how AI is changing Google's algorithm. I did it under my personal account, my work account, and then not signed in. Every time I do it, on the same device, the same person, the same question, I get different results every single time. And now it's getting interesting. Today, I did it when I sit out there, and it's starting to understand what I'm doing. And on the CMOShare email, it's starting to tell me how AI is changing it for small businesses. On the personal, it's starting to tell me how you, and it uses the word you, how you are going to change how you search. And on the one that I don't sign in on, it's telling me very general stuff, but it's getting a little bit more developed every single time I use it. So it doesn't really matter on terms of results. Someone asked me, Hubert Park asked me yesterday about showing up on AI searches. And it's almost infinity now. When you look at it, it's not about, okay, because everyone searches differently on AI. You used to be able to say dentist near me. Now it's saying, hey, I'm looking for a dentist it's a female dentist because I feel more comfortable with a female dentist that's close to me, that has good reviews, whatever's open on Saturdays. That's how you talk to AI. And so it's going to pull all the information that you put out there, and it's going to pull it in and say, okay, it's customizing the result for you. If you watch a lot of video content, you will get dentists who have a lot of video content on their website. If you read a lot of just text, you will get results that have websites with a lot of text or specific questions. If you have dental anxiety, and it starts to know because you tell AI things that you won't tell anyone in the world, at least I do. I mean, might be weird, but it knows a lot about me. Like I'll do an AI search just for random stuff and says, hey, Ryan, I know that you are sensitive about this. And so here's some results that I think you'll like. And so it's going to do that it's that deep. So what you want to do is get into the content business here. The content is going to really, really help you get in front of these people. So the content you put out on your site and on your marketing will definitely then go through, and it will hit that same type of person. So just be careful what you're putting out there, because you could be getting the wrong patient coming in the door. And so some general website stuff here just quickly is, this as in site, we go through and say, meet our doctor's emergency, welcoming new patients, no insurance, dental emergencies, back to school special at that time. Very simple, easy to click, figuring out where you want to go. This is Winston Fang out of Chicago. He helped us develop this, which is really cool. I'm a new patient. I don't have insurance. I have a dental emergency. When you click those, what happens is it takes you into a very small funnel of information. So if I don't have insurance, it's going to take me to a page that's going to talk about how they can help you. And it's going to get you to convert as early as possible. We're trying to get people to convert within 90 seconds of visiting the page, because that's the window you have, sometimes even less. Right now, right here, my goal this thing is phenomenal. So my goal is because this is what we know patients are looking for, and you click it, it's going to get you as quick as possible. What we've done, and I didn't put it on this slide, is we put the most important information on top, which is how long does it take, how much does it cost, and how much does it hurt? Because that's what people are wondering. And then we put all the stuff that Google loves, or people who want to read a lot, down below it. We put videos, and then all of this, like the basically data that Google's trying to pull from the page below it. More videos here. I just like this picture because it's a funny picture of Ben, so I always put it in every single slide I do. I'm not lying. This has literally been in the last 7 presentations, Ben, that I've done. You have no idea, but I do it. I did a webinar with all these Mango users, and I put this in there. It's the little things you got to do in life to get joy. More video content here. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you get to the Invisalign page, we talk about very quickly how much it costs, some time frames with it, and then down to a video, and then more content below it. FAQs. This is a major piece of AI now, because this is asking and answering a question, which is what AI is doing essentially. So how do I schedule an appointment? That seems like a simple question, but what this is doing, more than likely, and all people maybe not be clicking on these FAQ pages at all, but AI and Google and ChatGPT and Claude are sitting there saying, oh, hey, this answers a question. Do you take walk-in appointments? Well, if I'm looking for a dentist that I can go see today, hey, dentist around me that takes walk-in appointments, that is whatever, this is going to answer that question. It's going to help you get in front of that, ask on Google or on AI. Fees, I'm a huge fan of fees. Some people push back on this, but it has no negative side whatsoever, in my opinion. Only time I've ever seen it have one negative side effect was in a practice area that had a huge 65 plus community, and it confused all of their retired patients. So like, I don't understand what this means. What's $0.80 to $700 mean? And so we took it off there. Otherwise, I've never seen this, because Google will then, and again, AI, this is answering a question. People are asking how much things cost. And you want them to know how much some of the stuff costs, at least a range, so they just don't think they're going to come in and get free. I mean, Bill deals with this all the time. Like, questions are like, hey, can I come in and get this for free? It doesn't even make sense. Chatbot, yeah. So this is something that will help, one, get you in front of more searches and for more mentions on AI, but also answer questions ahead of time. It's really meant more just to kind of work with Google's algorithm that we came up with it. Financing is huge right now. It's the highest we've ever seen of searches based around financing. And so I know I talked about the economy a little bit based upon, Mark and I did a podcast actually recently talking about the economy in dentistry. There's some people who are struggling. We know this based upon the fact what they're searching. And so if you're not talking about offering finance, I mean, Ben does this to every single patient that comes in the door, he offers financing to. And if you're not offering this, you're going to lose out on that segment who is looking for financing. And these aren't like patients that can't afford dentistry. It's the fact they're having to choose where they want to spend their money. And financing will help convince them to come see you as a practice. So I would definitely include that. If you don't offer it, I would look into offering it. All right, team member marketing. We're going to switch into the third bucket here. I'm going to have Addison share some thoughts with me here in a minute too on this. So we recently, we're a partner with Mango. Lauren Allison, who is founder of Front Office Rock, she's now with Mango AI. Been doing some content with her and really getting some data. This is fascinating stuff here. So conversion rates that we have found and Mango found have dropped from 75% on, this is the phone, when you call in. It was around 75% typically if you had availability that a patient would convert. But we're seeing those numbers drop down to 60%. And that's crazy, because if they call in and it's not based on availability, people are just asking more questions. One of the biggest things that's happening is people are saying no because your front office can't, or the person answering the phone can't answer a question about insurance. So we listened to a lot of Mango calls, and so we compiled a bunch of data, and we found that around 20 to 30% of the patients who said didn't schedule an appointment when they called in, didn't schedule it because of insurance. But here's the kicker part. They were in network with the practice, but they still didn't schedule because the person answering the phone couldn't answer the questions properly. So make sure your front desk is equipped to be able to answer questions on insurance, because you will struggle from that. We did analysis of over 9 million calls with Mango over 4 years, 300 practices. Here's some data on phone answer rate. You want to get, I know there were some emotional talks yesterday. I get emotional about people not answering the phone because it's the easiest way. the top 20 practices that we found in this 300 practices answered 89% of their calls. The bottom 80% only answered only 71%. That's an 18% gap there. That's a lot of calls being unanswered and a lot of new patients, but a lot of current patients not being able to schedule an appointment with you. This is something that Ben does. If you should ask him about this, it's a call tracking, an average. It gives him a score of what he does, how many calls he goes in. He has somebody listen to all of these. This might not be for every practice out there. It's a lot of work, but it's a very good visual week by week or day by day of how his team is doing and how they're scoring, and so that you can monitor how your team is actually being able to convert patients. So this is a little bit of on a demand standpoint now. Like I talked about, first of all, 70% of patients still schedule over the phone. That is based upon looking at years and years of practice data of new patients of where from their online scheduling versus calls, and we know that 70% schedule over the phone, and that's across the United States. Demand right now is similar to 2009, 2010. Higher value, it's more difficult. You probably see that in your office now. Treatment that's expensive is more difficult to convert. But emergencies is up. It's the highest we've seen in 5 years, and hygiene is pretty stable. Just being able to, it's all about capacity, or it's about availability, I should say. If you have this space and to get them in as soon as possible, you have a higher opportunity to cancel or to get that appointment. And as long as you can also answer the insurance question. This is something that we've done a analysis on. So if you have availability within 10 days, so this gets a little tricky. I'll explain this. So for what happens is when someone clicks schedule online, they will go to see your availability and then they will call you. They don't always they just want to see what you have available. So this is a very interesting data point. If your online scheduling shows availability within 10 days, you will get 0.4 people to call you off of every single online schedule click. If it's beyond 10 days, 11 days or more, that drops down to 0.2 for every person who clicks like a Flex link or Local Med or Modena or whatever it is now. It drops significantly because they see that you have no availability. So they're not going to call you. So if you're able to really showcase availability online, even if it's sometimes fake, and it's just a column, that will get you more calls. And there's a lot of practices that do that. I'm not going to get into the logistics of that because it's kind of difficult, but there's a lot of people here that do that. I would talk to them. I think Bill does that. And Bill and I did a lot of studies on availability. Another thing too is if you want 100 new patients, you need to have 140 new patient blocks because you need to have enough availability. Because once you get down to it, think about it. If you're going to a restaurant and they have a 4:30 dinner and a 10 o'clock dinner that's available, the odds of you scheduling that reservation go down dramatically because you don't want to eat at 4:30 and maybe you want to eat at 10, but more likely not. And it's the same thing with dental. So you need a lot more new patient blocks than you actually want new patients. And then you have to take into account cancellations as well. The insurance objection here, this is an interesting data point that we just uncovered, is that 83% of patients have some type of dental insurance. This is taking away Medicaid. This is non-Medicaid patients. So if you are out of network or you take less insurances, think about it. If you're completely out of network, you need to convince 4 out of 5 people who call you to come see you and tell them you don't take their insurance, or you're not in, I shouldn't say take, but you're not in network with them for insurance. That's a lot. So when you drop insurances, keep that in mind. It gets harder and harder to convert. So a practice that when you look at just like some data points, I think I have put those out on chairs, some data points there. If you get 100 calls, like 100 total inbound calls, you should be able to get 10 new patients off of those on an average practice. If you are a fee-for-service practice, that number can drop down to 6 out of 100 because it's harder to convert because people just only want to go where they take insurance. So just keep that in mind when people are calling in. The more you drop, the more difficult it is to convert. It can be done, it's just more difficult. Okay, Addison, come up here. If you haven't grabbed Addison's book, The Shift, it's out there, available at booksellers like Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. It's a fiction book, a fable. It's really good. I highly recommend it. We designed the cover for it.
Yeah, you did.
I got to tell, you don't know this actually. This is pretty funny. Addison sent me part of the book in advance to read, to say, what do you think about it? I read it all right. I put it into ChatGPT and Claude and gave me an analysis of what it said.
Yeah.
And then I started asking questions if it was good. So that was my way of reading it. It's a good book, though.
Yeah, thank you.
AI thought it was good.
Yeah.
So anyway, tell me a little bit about the insurance, like what your team does and how you overcome some of these insurance objections. Because like this is something here, do you take my insurance? If you just say no, good luck with that.
Yeah. So our team has, like on Open Dental, you can set up a specific program button. So the program button, can open up a different spreadsheet or a document. So we open up a Google spreadsheet. We have every insurance listed. And, especially for you guys that have multiple doctors in your office, sometimes, you're in the process of credentialing or going out of network. So sometimes different doctors are either in network or out of network. So we have a doctor in a column. So like myself, Dr. Chapek, whatever. And then it's like, am I in network or out of network with, Aetna, Blue Cross, MetLife, whatever. So really quickly, within 2 seconds, a front office person, once they answer the phone, they know it's a new patient. They can click on that. It pops up the spreadsheet and they can say, oh yeah, we accept your insurance. And so that's one key tactical thing that you guys should all do, so that it's just very clear, so that anyone that's answering the phone can quickly do that.
So if they were out of network, what would be something, I'll put this next slide up here. It's a lot to read up here, but this is some of the ways to maybe overcome some of those objections. I can send you these if you want as well. But how do you overcome some of the objections if you are out of network with that specific provider?
I would say one thing would be make sure, many patients with your insurance choose to come to us. So like you're following the crowd. You should feel good that you called us. Like, oh yeah, we have a lot of patients that have Blue Cross. Like they love us. They love Dr. Chapek. And then you basically say, we accept your insurance. So not that we are in network, but we accept your insurance. And then just sometimes, say, hey, send me your insurance information. We'll get you on the books. Just know sometimes there is an out-of-pocket fee depending on the services we provide that day. And so the patient is aware that there might be out-of-pocket. We accept your insurance. We'll bill your insurance. But just avoiding the use of the word in-network. Do you take my insurance? Yes, we take your insurance. We submit the claims for you. We take lots of patients with Blue Cross. Yeah, we love those patients. So,
and the last, before we have to wind up here, so Addison averages around 89 to 92, 93% call answer rate. I will say at one point in time, he was like at 97% and he was getting like 2,000 calls, but now it's really difficult. The more calls you get, he gets a lot of calls a month. That call answer rate is just going to go down marginally, but he's still at 90% on average. What are some of those tools that you use, and how do you get the team to answer that percent? And then real quick, the other thing too is if a call does go unanswered, you will get a text back within seconds and say, we will call you back. And within 10 minutes, usually you will get a call back from his office. So he almost has a 0% contact rate with every person who calls.
Yeah. So one of the things is I have phones in, the doctor's office. Now, I don't answer the phone very often, but I could. If I knew that the rest of the team was busy doing other stuff, like I could answer. Each of the front desk people has a phone. There's 2 phones back in sterilization, maybe 3. So if anybody is like typing up their notes on their computer or doing sterilization and the phone is ringing there, then they know it's already rolled over from the front desk. So the front desk is already, we have 6 people at the front desk. If none of those 6 people answered, it goes to my office manager, my insurance and billing gal, my marketing gal, and the sterilization center. So like anybody in the practice, and that's an incurred cost. Those phones are $26 a month per phone location. But you pick up 1 extra call, maybe 2, and it totally pays for itself. So by either serving that patient, getting a new patient. So just making sure everyone in your practice is empowered to answer the phone, and that you have enough physical phones to answer those calls.
Yeah, and the last thing is adding in AI answers that can answer if your team can't get to it. Bill's a guru at doing this, so I'd recommend talking to Bill about how to layer in AI. Just be careful though, if you bring in an AI call service like PowerVox or Mango AI, that your team will start to rely on that to pick up the call, which AI converts a much lower percent than a human does. So if your team starts to realize that's there and your call rate goes from 70% down to 50%, you're going to get less conversions for total appointments. So anyway.
I will say though that, having too much of a phone tree or a message before a human actually answers the phone is not a good thing. So I think human answers are big. Although I do use, Bill got me hooked on PowerVox. So after hours, you do get the phone call tree message of, hey, press 1 to leave a message, press 2 if you'd like to speak to the AI phone agent who can get you scheduled. So if they're like, oh, I want to get scheduled, they know that they're talking to AI and they have that choice. But otherwise, I don't have AI in the daytime. So,
all right. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.